All right. Hello and welcome to our Healthy Cooking 101 class. This is Super Bowl. Yes, SOUPER. And we are here. I'm Julie Powers, and we're here with Cindy Sebastian. You want to say hi, Cindy, or wave? Okay. And
Hello.
Don Fuemmeler.
Hi.
Yay. So we are part of the Healthy Living Revolution. And we are really all about helping people understand the importance of eating real food, like with nutrients in it, fresh food. Yay. So this is something that we've been doing for a long time, these healthy cooking classes. Dawn actually started them a long time ago, and we were having these like on a Friday night or a Saturday at our house or somebody's house. And then here we are in the virtual world. So we're doing it on Zoom. Normally our Super Bowl event would be something where people would come and bring jars and they'd go home with all of these different kinds of soups and chilies. But guess what? You have to make it at your own house so that we can be safe. And so we are just ready to get going. Actually, I think, Dawn, if you want to get started, she's going to be making this fabulous soup and tell us all about it.
Okay, so like Julie said, normally we make a whole bunch of different soups at our Super Bowl event, but since soup takes a little bit longer to show you, we're just doing this one today. But I'm telling you, if you have never eaten lentils or something that you're more a meat person, I think you'll be very, very happy with this recipe. It's a vegan lentil tortilla soup. And, you know, about 5 years ago, my teenage son decided to become vegan. And I told him at that time, I said, listen, if you're going to do this, you're going to be a healthy vegan. You're not going to be one of those vegans that eats, you know, whatever junk and says they're vegan. And as soon as I said that, I thought, oh my gosh, that falls on my shoulders because I'm the one who cooks for him. So I really had to relearn how to cook. And that's been a process. I didn't learn all at once. I'm still learning some new things, new tips and tricks. But even if you don't want to be vegan, and I'm not vegan, and neither is my husband. He grew up on a pig farm. I grew up on a cattle farm. We're not vegan, but we ate vegan because I wasn't going to cook something special for my son. I wasn't going to make 2 meals. And we really have learned that over time, our taste buds have changed. We really enjoy eating this way. It's very easy to cook vegan and it's very inexpensive. A lot of people think, oh, vegan, I got to go buy these special ingredients. And no, you don't. And because I just get stuff here locally for the most part, every once in a while when I get up to St. Louis, I get some things, but you don't have to buy these expensive ingredients. It really is inexpensive because you don't have the cost of the meat. And, you know, when my son went to college this fall, I thought, oh, my husband and I will probably go back to eating more meat because he's not here. But we've really stuck with these recipes because they're easy and yummy and inexpensive. So I have already cooked this morning just some 1 red onion, chopped, diced it. This was all done in like a tablespoon of olive oil and 5 cloves of garlic. My daughter says, you don't count cloves of garlic, you feel them. I don't know. So however much garlic you like. And then I sauteed that, and then I added the spices, which is a tablespoon of cumin and 2 teaspoons of chili powder. And we're going to be sending you all these recipes so you don't have to be remembering it. And then this really interesting thing that I had never cooked with until I started this. And you can get them now at Aldi. This says chipotles on it at Aldi, but it's chilies in adobo sauce. Adobo sauce is not super, super spicy if you don't like really spicy things, but it has a really smoky flavor, which is really nice in a recipe that doesn't have meat because it gives it that sort of meat flavor. And this can will last you, like you don't use very much, and then you can freeze the rest and keep using it. So that's what's in there right now. And I'm going to add a can of black beans that I've drained and rinsed, and 2 cups of frozen corn. You can use canned corn, but I think frozen is better because it, you know, retains its nutrients better when it's frozen. A can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. You could use regular. I think the fire roasted also sort of gives it that smoky flavor. Then the lentils. This one uses red lentils. There are different kinds of lentils. And right now at Aldi, you can get organic red lentils. There are brown or green lentils too. I mean, they're super, super cheap. The red ones cook really, really fast because they're small. The green or the brown ones, I use them to make patties and different things that are like meat. And they're a little bit bigger, so they take a little bit longer to cook. So then you can use some V8 juice, or I've just got tomato juice, and it says 32 ounces, which is 4 cups. I'm going to actually measure it. Normally, I don't measure things. I just sort of go by what it looks like. Pour that in. Lentils. And then it literally, I'm going to mix it all up. It really, lentils only take about 5 minutes of cooking once it gets to boiling or simmering. Just, you know, get them up to simmer. You can put the lid on if you want, you don't have to. And then when it's all done cooking, you can add the full fat, a can of full fat coconut milk. Julie says you can add it now, but the recipe says add it later. I don't know why. So I've always done what the recipe says. And the juice of 1 lime. And then you can add on top, like, you know, cilantro or, you know, sour cream if you eat that. Or I eat this with Fritos. And yes, I know Fritos are not the healthiest thing in the world, but if you look on the back of Fritos, the only thing that's listed is oil, corn, and salt. Those are all things you know. They're real ingredients. So while they might not be the healthiest, if you're eating chips, look for something like that, not Doritos that have a whole bunch of fake chemical things that you don't even know what they are. So, and you just throw a little bit, you know, I throw a little bit of those in there rather than, you know, like saltine crackers or something, because I don't eat gluten. So I don't know if you can see, I don't want to tip it, but I'm going to put it on the stove. And while it's cooking, Julie is going to show a quick video about healthy eating and why we do this.
Before I play the video, I just want to talk about her soup a little bit. I've never made the soup before, but I have it in my Instant Pot. So I actually sauteed the garlic and onions before I got started for prepping for this. And then I put all the other ingredients in it and set the delay timer so that it's going to be done when we finish this class, because I'm going to be hungry and it smells so good in my kitchen. I can't stand it. I want to eat right now. But also,
go ahead.
I also, there is adobo seasoning. So if you, I don't know if you can see that or not, you can actually buy adobo seasoning. And then if you have just a can of chilies, you can use that and just use the adobo seasoning. And I wouldn't necessarily put the coconut milk in while you're cooking it if it says specifically on the recipe to do that at the end. I do have recipes that I use in the Instant Pot with lentils and some other things that use coconut milk for the full time that it's cooking, and you don't add it at the end. But I would follow Dawn's instructions for sure.
Well, just a couple things I didn't say. Coconut milk, if you've never used it in cooking, I'm saying it is the bomb when you're making soup. It really makes a nice creamy soup. And do not be afraid. It will not taste like coconut. You will not taste that. It just makes a nice creamy soup without there being dairy in it. And then, yes, you can make this in the Instapot. I set it for after I saute everything for 5 minutes and let it come to high pressure, and then, you know, it'll release on its own. Or if you're really hungry, release it. But
can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Do you use coconut milk in the can versus coconut milk that you buy in like a gallon, you know?
Right, in the can, because the can has that that nice cream on top, and then it has sort of like the watery stuff down below. You want that nice cream. That's the full fat, and it's a good kind of fat. You know, we shouldn't we shouldn't shy away from fat a lot. You know,
No, I know that.
those of us that grew up in the 80s and 90s when everything was, you know, low fat was coming out. I mean, they've actually found that fat is good as long as you use the healthy kind of fat, and coconut milk is one of those things, you know, like olive oil and, you know, nuts, all those things are good fats. So
And
good question.
and there's no sugar in the coconut milk?
There is not,
Perfect,
no,
perfect,
in the can.
perfect,
And
perfect.
the other thing I was going to say is, and this I just learned because I'm going to be doing a gut health class. If you cut your aromatics, which are onions and garlic, cut them up, chop them up, let them set for like 5 minutes before you cook them. That actually brings up the good gut producing things, phytonutrients that are in those kind of things. I did not know that. So that's something new. So now I chop mine and let it set. Okay.
Dawn Fuemmeler is full of educational tips, let me tell you. So, all right, we are going to share the screen here, and we're just going to play this really short video.
In my medical practice, when I try to get my patients to make one simple change, I go right to diet, because that is the simplest and quickest and easiest change to make.
I encourage people when they make changes to their diet, they go slowly and gradually. We're not talking about eliminating food groups radically. We're talking about taking the dieting habits that they have now and modifying them a little bit.
Examining what it is you are eating and see what it is you should cut back on. For example, the sugar sweetened beverages and the artificially sweetened beverages are an easy way to start because they are absolutely not healthy.
Another one simple change that people can make regarding diet nutrition is to look at what's in the pantry and look at the unhealthy things, read the labels, and make a decision not to buy the least healthy thing that's there next.
And if you want a bonus, one simple change, think outside the box. The real food diet you're on doesn't come in a box.
Diet should never be a short-term proposition. Diet simply means what you eat. That's going to be a long-term proposition, no matter how you dice it.
People can lose, 5 to 10% of their weight relatively quickly, but the statistics are really, really pretty powerful in saying that 90% of those people that go on these kind of radical diets, within 4 to 5 years, they gain back the weight, and many of them gain even more weight. So when we talk about diet, there's a difference between the trendy diets and just making simple changes to make a diet that is healthy for you and one that is sustainable.
One gentleman recently shared with me that he went on a juicing regimen for a while and he got great, fantastic results, but then he couldn't sustain it because it was just a lot of chopping, mopping, slopping, all of that. Then when I told him about Juice Plus, he got on it and he was so relieved because it was so easy to do. And he got similar, if not better results with Juice Plus.
In order to feel well, we all must eat well, consistently, every single day. And that's where the Juice Plus capsules come in to help fill in those gaps for when we're not getting in our 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day that we're supposed to.
I love telling people to eat as much variety and color in their diet. And that is why I love Juice Plus, to add that color on a daily basis.
Because when you add all those plants to your body every single day, all those fruits and vegetables, it's going to make you crave more fruits and vegetables. So Juice Plus is the most effective thing I have found to help a person make dietary changes for life.
Okay, so next up is Cindy Sebastian. Make sure you unmute Cindy. And she is gonna give us a really good way to make an all-time favorite Super Bowl snack. And you know what? Even if you're not going to a big party like we normally do, my Super Bowl party is going to be my husband and me rooting for the Chiefs. And yay, it's going to be so much fun. But Cindy, go ahead. Tell us how to make these.
Okay. So, a lot of people like buffalo chicken wings, very, very popular Super Bowl treat. So today we are going to make buffalo cauliflower bites. So it's super, super easy. So the ingredients are Just put that in there. 1 head of a cauliflower, cutting it up into little pieces. I went ahead and did some in small batches. I'm going to use my air fryer. Most of you probably have an air fryer. You got an air fryer for Christmas, or you want to get an air fryer. You can certainly make these in the oven, but air fryers make them a little bit crispier and it's super easy. But you do need to do them in small batches. It's very important that when you put the cauliflower, they don't touch each other, you know, kind of have some separate so the air can circulate. So again, it's 4 cups of cauliflower. I've already washed and put mine in a bowl. This is just a half of it. And I used 1/4 cup of dairy-free butter. You can also use high quality butter. It's probably not a good idea to use margarine because that's a lot of fake chemical stuff. And then I used a 3/4 cup of the Frank's Buffalo. There we go. And it also, you know, it's vegan, and you can also, you know, make homemade. We'll have a homemade recipe in the description below. And then you're going to need some olive oil cooking spray, and this is to go in your air fryer. So so you're going to take your cauliflower, and you're going to mix it up really well in that sauce. You get it really coated really well, and then you are going to put it in some panko style coating, which, you know, I did not realize that you could buy this locally, but you can get gluten-free. So you can, you know, just pick that up at your local Walmart or grocery store. And then we're going to dump it into another bowl. On here, and then we're going to mix it up really well. Make sure it's got lots of coating on it. And then we're going to go over to your air fryer.
Can you show everybody what that looks like show them the bowl, because we couldn't see anything that you were showing.
Yeah, well, I'm going to bring my air fryer thing on here, and I'm going to show you inside of it. So I'm going to take my air fryer. I already cooked 1 batch in there. So I'm going to spray it. And you don't want to use Pam. Number 1, it's got a lot of chemicals in it. And number 2, it also, you know, it isn't good for your Instant Pot. So we're going to just put this in there, just kind of dump it in there. And you want to make sure that your cauliflower isn't touching. So kind of make sure not, because you want the air to circulate. It's going to make it nice and crispy.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I got to move it around a little bit because it's, you know. So we're going to set I have an Instant Pot brand. That's what I have. I just got this one. So I'm going to put on air fry about 13 minutes, 12 to 15. I already did a batch, so I know how much time it's going to take. And then temperature is going to be at the temperature 350. I'm going to hit start. And then about halfway through, it's going to beep at you, and then you turn the food over, and then voila, it's done. So I'm going to share a little bit about my story while that is cooking. So 20 years ago, I heard about the concept of powdered produce in a capsule, and it made sense to me. I was a very picky eater growing up. I didn't like fruits and vegetables. And a result, when I left home and went to college, I developed a condition called ulcerative colitis, which is an autoimmune disease. And I suffered for many, many years. I had my oldest son was born with cystic fibrosis, and at the CF clinic, they really didn't preach good nutrition. It was all about calories in and calories out. And we ate a lot of fast food every day, pretty much every day. I drank a couple of Cokes a day. I didn't like water, and just really didn't understand what food could really do for your body. And my mom would always tell me, if you'd eat more vegetables, Cindy, you probably wouldn't have problems with your stomach. Well, guess what? My mama was right. They usually are, but you know, a lot of times you don't listen. So when I started flooding my body with good nutrition, guess what? My gut health really, really improved. And I have really been almost symptom free and medication free for the better part of 20 years. So I will forever be grateful for, this community, the education that I've learned along the way, and how we're flooding our bodies. So I am going to turn it over. Well, actually, while that's cooking, I made another batch. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Hopefully you can see. Very yummy. And I made some, and it's really good you can make some dairy-free ranch dressing, carrot sticks and celery sticks. And that's what it looks like. So definitely give it a try. I'm going to turn it over to Julie, and she's going to share a recipe. Thanks for watching.
Well, I can say that roasted cauliflower and baked cauliflower is delicious. And so if you've never tried it, you should definitely try it. I purchased all the ingredients and I'm going to be making mine tomorrow, Cindy. So yay. So you know what? I used to be such a crappy eater. I was a complete junk food junkie. And whenever the thought of going to a Super Bowl party came up, I knew that I was just going to be in hog heaven because there was going to be so much crap to eat and it was going to be fabulous. And I was the one that just would pile up my plate with everything processed and nasty and gross and sugary and sweet and fat and salty and you name it. And so that was my life. That's how I ate. I was one of those people that would eat a large pepperoni pizza by myself and then get the can of frosting with a spoon and eat it until I got such a bad headache from the chemicals and the sugar that I finally had to put it away. I could down a whole bag of Oreos, double stuffed Oreos in no time and eat mounds of candy bars every day. And I was a complete junk food junkie. Really. And so the thought that one day I would be hosting and co-hosting a healthy cooking class, it never would have crossed my mind. Okay. So all I can tell you is that I've come a long way. So it doesn't matter where you are in your health journey and your cooking style, there's always room for improvement because I went from that to being vegan 99, like 99% vegan because I eat a couple eggs and some Greek yogurt and honey. But that's the only animal foods that I eat anymore. And I'm not saying that eating animal products is bad for you, but I just don't want to anymore. So I eat all kinds of plants now. But I used to not get enough fruits, vegetables, and berries in my diet because I didn't eat them ever. And so when I was introduced to Juice Plus, it was because somebody cared about me and they knew that I was kind of burning the candle at both ends and I wasn't taking care of myself nutritionally. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I can get fruits and vegetables in a capsule and I don't have to eat them. I don't have to buy them, cut them, clean them, dice them, slice them. Yeah, okay, great. And so that's what I did. And that was 14 years ago. And I can't believe it's been that long ago, but it was when my daughter was still alive and life was chaotic. And then after she passed and I had more time on my hands, I knew I still wasn't going to eat all those fruits and vegetables every day. So I kept up with the habit of eating my Juice Plus every day. And then I got to a point where I wanted to share it with other people because I felt like it was kind of my responsibility to help get other people healthy too. So that's what we've been doing. And now we're cooking really yummy stuff that's good for us. And so I'm making this Southwest, I call it a dip, but it's really kind of a salad. And what you're going to do is so simple. It is so simple. And you guys have probably made versions of this before. And you can do it however you want. But I use the garbanzo beans, which are chickpeas, rinse and drain a can or two, if you like it a lot. Black beans, rinse and drain right out of the can, 1 or 2 cans. Nice red onion. We're not going to cook it, so we don't have to let it sit for a while first, like Dawn was telling us. We're going to have corn. And again, like Dawn, I use frozen corn because it's just much fresher than using canned corn. I think canned corn gets mushy. Peppers. Normally I would do like a mix of red and yellow and orange just to make it really colorful. But the orange and yellow ones didn't look so good when I was at the store. Cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, and you just cut those into smaller bite-sized pieces. And, so far is looking like this, right? This makes a lot, So we're gonna stir that together. You're gonna cut up some fresh cilantro. If you're not one of those people that cilantro tastes like soap, because there's actually a gene that some people have that they hate cilantro because it makes it taste like soap. And I see Joyce is waving her hand. So you're one of those people. And so you don't want to be eating that. And then fresh squeezed limes. Now, here's something that if you don't have one of these, you need one of these. I'm telling you, this has made my life so simple. You see Dawn has, unmute yourself and show them the lemon one, because I have a lemon one as well. And you can use the lemon one for limes. Oop. But you see what I just did? I just squirted myself in the eye. And I've done that before, and I should know better.
Yeah, I like the bigger one because you can do lemons and limes both. Sometimes if you have a lime one and it's, you know, a big lemon, it won't fit in, but.
Right. So just give it a good squeeze. And it says to use like 6 to 8 limes, but really it's just to your taste. So I'm just stirring this all up. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. And the way that I really like to serve this, besides just with, you know, corn, oil, and salt tortilla chips, which can be dangerous when you put a bag of those in front of me. But I will get a big plate of greens like romaine lettuce from my tower garden, or any other kind of lettuce that I have out there, sometimes some curly kale, and you put that on and it's just a big, beautiful salad. So that is what I would like to have you guys try. So next is Dawn.
Okay, so my soup cooked that fast. So that's what's nice about this soup. Very little time. I put some salt and pepper in it, and I'm going to add this can of coconut milk. And then a squeeze of lime, and I'll put it back on the stove just to heat the coconut up just a little bit. But that's it. It's ready to go. Super easy and super tasty. I gave this recipe to my daughter a few weeks ago, and she's like, oh my gosh. And then she was here while we were on vacation, and she made it again. So she really likes it. So I'm gonna point my camera down here so you can see. I gotta mix everything together there, but I'll put it back on the stove and do that. I'm going to, I know that Super Bowl is not necessarily known for sweet snacks as much as savory kind of things, but I think it's nice to have something sweet because I have a sweet tooth and I like chocolate, and why would you not want to have chocolate? Any excuse for chocolate is a good excuse. So let me put this back on the stove really quickly. Get it out of the way. All right. I'm going to make Snicker dates. That's just my name for them. I don't know. You can call them whatever. Dates are wonderful. They're sweet, they're chewy, and if you do them like this, they taste like caramel, like the caramel inside of a Snickers. So I like the really big ones. They're called Majol dates. You can now get them at Aldi. They have them at Walmart, whatever. But they do have a big pit in them. So all you have to do is just slice it in two and take out the pit. The nice thing about this recipe, the pit looks the size and shape of an almond. So an almond will fit right back inside that little pit space. But, so you can put an almond in there, or two if it's a really big date. Or you know what? A cashew. Every nut has like a different thing it does in the body, just like every fruit and vegetable has a different thing that it does for the body. So it's nice to mix it up. You get different. There's a pecan. Stick that in there. The walnut's pretty big. I might have to like break a little bit off a walnut. I have some hazelnuts. A couple of hazelnuts will fit in this one. You can use, I've got some pistachios, I've got some regular peanuts. So, you know, there's a lot of different kinds, or you can take some natural peanut butter with no sugar. And if you don't really like nuts as much, but you like peanut butter, and just fill that little hole where the pit was with some peanut butter. Then take some really good quality dark chocolate. You know, the higher the percentage, if you get with the percentages on it, the less sugar that it has. It does get more bitter, so you've sort of got to play that line of where do I like it, you know, until your taste buds sort of change. I never liked dark chocolate before I made this change in how I ate. I always had milk chocolate. I didn't think dark chocolate tastes good. But now that my taste buds have changed, I don't like sweets as much. And so I like good dark chocolate. So you could actually take the date and dip the whole thing in. It's a big mess and it's a pain, I think. Plus, you're going to save yourself time and a little bit of calories because you're not going to completely dip it in chocolate. I'm just going to take the chocolate and just drizzle it over these. And then you just put them in the refrigerator. And because I just did one a while ago, I sprinkled some sea salt on top too. If you've got salted nuts, you might not want to do that, but mine weren't salted. Look at this. I'm going to bite into it. It's like gooey, like caramel, and it's got the nut and it's got the chocolate. You seriously think that you're eating the Snickers. Okay, I'll finish those later, but I do want to talk to you about beverages really quickly. Beverages have a lot of calories and sometimes a whole lot of nasty stuff in them that you shouldn't be putting in your body. It was really the number one change I made when I started eating better, was to get rid of soda. And it took me a while, but that was a catalyst for a lot of other changes after I got rid of the soda. Now, if I want something that's like soda, I use like sparkling water without any flavoring in it, and I'll put like a lemon or a lime. This is a can you can get at Aldi. But Super Bowl is known for alcoholic beverages. And I just want to show you really quickly how to make a healthier margarita. I drank a lot of these this week because I was at the beach. So look, my thing is not very full of tequila, but it's seriously just one shot, which is a shot glass an ounce or 2 ounces. An ounce? Okay. So 1 ounce of tequila, 1 ounce of agave syrup, 2 limes squeezed, and then you can add some water, but I really like to add the sparkling water. It gives it that little bit of fizz, but whichever you prefer. Mix it all up, throw in some ice. If you want to get fancy, you know, and rim the cup and all that with the ice or with the salt, but I usually just sprinkle some, like I use pink Himalayan salt or sea salt, much healthier than just your regular iodized salt. I just throw it in there, mix it all up. It's a lot better. Those mixtures that you get, those margarita mixes that are like neon green, they're neon green because they're not real. So you want real limes, and it's so quick and easy. You can also take sparkling water if you're drinking wine, and, you know, fill it half with wine and half, you know, with some sparkling water. And, you know, that cuts your calories in half and you're not drinking quite so much of the wine, but it feels like you got a big cup. So just a couple of tips. And who's going next? Cindy, we're back to Cindy.
Yep, we are back at me. So I just finished another batch of cauliflower bites. Here we go. Laid it up. Okay, so then we're going to talk about the next virtual cooking class that we're going to be hosting, which is going to be Saturday, March the 20th at 10 a.m. And we will be making sugarless snacks. And on February the 17th, we are starting been doing this for several years, a 6-week sugar shake-off challenge. So it's a Facebook group, and it's all about the education of what sugar does to the body, and the pitfalls that you have. We share recipes, encouragement, and weekly prizes. Each person chooses how they want to participate. You know, maybe you want to completely give up sugar. Maybe you want to adjust how much sugar you're taking. Maybe you just want to get the information and maybe reduce your sugar at a different time. So this is the 4th year, like we said, that we've been doing it. And it's always so gratifying to see the positive changes that people make. And on February 25th and 6th, Dawn will be hosting a talk about gut health. I know she touched on that earlier and why it's so important. So she's been doing a lot of research on the importance of gut health. So I'm sure we're going to learn many more tips that we just learned today. And it's also 7 p.m. on the 25th and noon on the 26th. So I'm going to turn it over to Julie, and she's going to wrap things up for us.
All right, so I do just want to share my screen for a minute here, and I want to show you guys, in case you're not familiar with our Healthy Living Revolution website, you go to healthylivingrevolution.com, and on this site, you will go under resources, and you can find recipes, cookbooks, trending health videos. So that in that section, you can scroll through, and you might be interested in learning more about healthy hormone levels, heart attacks, young athletes, how about diabetes, adrenal fatigue, living in a toxic world. Oh my gosh, there's just so much to know here. We have our home fitness series here. So you can go through, and if you're looking for some exercises to do at home, there's all kinds of things there for that. There's a kids program for Start Strong. We have information about the One Simple Change, the video that we showed earlier. We are all about one simple change at a time. But we also have this program called Shred 10. So if you are interested in learning more about a program that will give you a little more structure, and it's about shredding bad habits. It's not about, shredding 10 pounds. It's about shredding bad habits. And so just want to make sure that you know that that's available to you at any time for free, healthylivingrevolution.com. Cindy and Dawn and I have really enjoyed being part of this today. I hope that you guys make the recipes. We will be posting the recipes in the Facebook page. And if this recording works right, it will be uploaded sometime today. I can't promise when, because I have to get on another call right after this. And we've just enjoyed sharing a little bit of what we do. We are all about getting out there and helping people understand how important it is what they put in their body. And so if you would like to learn more, if you want to know more about Juice Plus, please ask the person who invited you to watch this video. And if you're on the recording and you're watching this and you don't know where to go to find the recipes because somehow you ended up with the video, check back with the person who invited you, and I'm sure we can figure out how to get them to you. All right, Dawn and Cindy, do you have any final words?
Enjoy the Super Bowl, eat healthy,
Go Chiefs.
And yummy. Go Chiefs.
Yes. Yeah, thank you for coming, and enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, everybody.